Hello everybody, it's Wendy, and today we are going to create a necklace using the November edition of the Bargain Bead Box. So if you are not familiar with Bargain Bead Box, it is a monthly subscription beading service. You get $65 to $70 worth of bead supplies delivered to your door. So yes, it includes your shipping for $17.98 a month. Along with your subscription, you get a 30% off coupon to use over and over all month long in their sister store. And you get to enter your creations in on their Facebook page to win a $25 gift certificate. So it's really a great deal. I love Bargain Bead Box because it's great for beginners, and it's also great for people that have been beading for a long time. You get great quality stuff, as you'll see here in the video. And yeah, it's just one of my favorites. So I have a coupon code. It is Wendy2. It is all one word. You can use it either to sign up and get $2 off of your first box, or you can use it one time in their store to get $2 off of your purchase. But you can't use it for both. Okay? So yeah, if you're interested in that, I'll put a link in the description box below. And yeah, Bargain Bead Box. I love them. So that's what we're going to use today. So let me get this out of the way. So the November box I loved. I thought it was beautiful. A lot of people did not like the tassels, but I think tassels are awesome. If you've watched my channel for any amount of time, you know that. And so I'm going to use this piece here, and I have taken some filigree. Now it came without this. I've taken some filigree and a pearl cab and glued a bail on and made just a little more decorative piece. So I'm going to use that, and then I have taken the same filigree and pearl cabs, and we're going to make a pair of earrings to match, and we're also going to use these little components that came in the box this month, okay? So you'll need all of that. I have 2 rings that I'm going to use on the sides because this is going to be a multi-layer necklace. They can be anything. They don't have to be as big as these. I mean, they can be anything. I have a lobster claw clasp that I'm going to use. I am going to use some of these melon beads that came in the box this month. Now, I don't know how many I'm going to use. I think there were like 10, and I've got them all right here, but I probably won't use all of them, but I'm going to use some of those. I have some white pearls from my own stash that I'm going to use. Okay. These are 8mm, by the way. I have the bead caps that came in the box this month. I have some crimp beads and some clamshell covers that I'm going to be using. I have some fire polish beads from my own stash. These are 4mm and these are 6mm. So fire polish beads, these both came from my own stash. I have some jump rings. I have some bead buddies that I'm going to use. I have all of my pliers, and then I have a couple of lengths of gold Coriana chain. So this is available on my website if you're interested in this, and I'm going to use 2 different pieces of it today. And then I have the chain that came in the box this month. That's this right here, and I'm going to be using some of it. And then I have some head pins and eye pins, just random ones that are here in my drawer beside me, and I'll be using some of them possibly. Okay, so that is everything that you're going to need, I think. I hope I haven't forgotten anything. And so if you want to make this necklace with me, grab your supplies and come on back and we'll get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Coriana chain, and I'm going to hang this pendant piece on a length of this Coriana chain. Now this is going to be like a 4 or 5 strand necklace. I haven't decided which, but I like the boho look when it has a lot of strands together. Now all I did for this was I took this filigree and I glued it on, and then I glued the cab in the middle and then a bail on the back. That's all I did on that, and you can use any filigree. I actually had considered using this piece right here. I have these on my website, and I actually considered using that instead, but then I decided to go with the flowers. So you can use anything that you have, any kind of filigree. Okay, so I'm just going to hang this on, and I think what I'm going to do on this bottom layer is just stick with some of the smaller beads. And you can bead right on this chain. That is one reason I love the Coriana chain. You can bead right on it. So The little fire polish beads even will go right on this chain. And I'm just going to start by putting one of these white fire polish beads on either side. And sometimes you have to trim your chain, like this piece I think is a little bit frayed on the end, so I'm just going to trim it. And if you trim it kind of at an angle, it gives it a little point, and your beads will go on even easier, but just be careful because it does get sharp when you do that. Oh, I'm sorry, I hit the camera. And actually my chain has a weird link in it right here, so I'm actually going to have to trim it down further than that. I bent it accidentally. And if you do that, it messes up the link, so you will have to cut it if you do that. So don't do that, or try not to. And I may have actually done it a couple of times. Yeah, I did it down here too. I actually, this chain was in my box, and it's just been kind of messed around and, I don't know, twisted and just basically messed up. So I'll have to trim a couple of sections off because the links got bent. That's my fault. Alright, and there we go. Alright, so here it is. I'm going to use the two little fire polish beads first, and then I'm going to use one of the bigger ones, the 6mm. And sometimes you have to finagle with this chain a little bit. I'm going to be amazed if it fits the 4mm, but then not the 6, but see, it does fit it. Sometimes the holes are not as big as they should be in all the beads, or they're bigger in some beads than others, so just trial and error. Try a different one. If the one you have there doesn't work, just try another one. Okay, so I've got these two on here. And this chain I love because it is so beautiful. It's just pretty, and you don't have to bead all the way up it. So like if I don't want to use fire polish beads all the way up to here on either side, I don't have to. I can just use, you know, 4 or 5 beads on each side, or 15 beads on each side, but you don't, it's not like you're using tiger tail, which is really not very pretty, and you don't have to bead all the way up. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep doing, whoops, I'm sorry guys, I keep hitting that camera. I'm going to keep doing the small, the 4mm and the 6mm fire polish for a minute here. I'm not sure how far I want to go. There we go. Okay. And I do want to pull that a little bit because that bail is kind of a little bit wide, and I don't want it to. Okay. I might add a few more. I'm not going to add a ton on this bottom layer because it does have the pendant, and I think that's enough, really. My throat is itchy today, and I don't know why. I think it's because it has rained here in Fayetteville. I think my allergies are acting up, but it rained like, I don't know, we thought it was never going to quit, and the creek in our backyard, I've never seen it quite as high as it was. I mean, it rained like torrential rain for several hours. I don't know how much rain we got, but it was crazy. The whole end of our road was flooded, and it was just a mess, but I think it's messed with my allergies, all that rain, dampness out there. Okay, and I think I'm going to do one more small one on each side, and then I can always add more later if I want to, but I want to get some of the other strands and see how they're going to look with it, so. So I'm just going to add one more small one on each side, and here's what we have. I think it's pretty. I don't understand people that complain about the tassels. I think they're so cute. Okay, so now I'm going to set these aside for a minute, and I'm not going to cut this chain or anything yet because I don't know how long I want to make this strand. I just know that I'm going to move this down off the screen a little because I know I want it to hang down kind of low. Now, I think the next strand that I want to do are these melons. And again, I'm going to use Coriana chain. and I'm debating whether I want to put anything in between them. I think they did send some spacer beads with the box this month, and I think I might use some of them. I don't want these melons to just be side by side, but I don't want there to be a whole lot going on either. So I think I might just use these gold spacers and just do a melon bead, a spacer, melon bead, spacer, melon bead. These are so pretty. I love the colors this month too. I love burgundy. Spacer here. That's kind of pretty with just the 3. It's very dainty. Whoops. Need a spacer on this side. Okay, let's look at that and just see how that would look hanging. That's pretty. That's dainty. I may just leave it with that. Okay, and then I'm going to grab another piece of the Coriana chain and get it untangled in my little box here. My box is a mess. My whole room's a mess. I'm going to have to do a major organization here pretty soon. Okay, so this one, I'm going to do pearls. Now, I am going to take this chain and hang a layer of chain in between here, so probably right there. And then I'm going to do the pearls and the spacers up here. Or, I mean bead caps, I'm sorry. Pearls and bead caps. And I am going to put a bead buddy on this end, because if I don't, I know they'll fall off. So let's do that. You can get the bead buddies at either Michael's, Joann's, or Hobby Lobby. They all 3 have them. And they just keep your beads from falling off when you're trying to do a whole strand like this. Alright, so let's do a little spacer, or a little bead cap, a pearl. Another little bead cap. I love these bead caps. They're so dainty. Pearl. And I'm probably going to do this strand with a lot of beads. I want it to be kind of, I want there to be, you know, I don't want this to be as scarce as these other ones here. If that makes any sense. And I forgot the bead cap. So let me add the bead cap on here for this pearl. Okay, bead cap. Pearl bead cap. Oh my goodness. These are hard to hang on to. They're tiny little things. Another bead cap. Okay. Well, I reached up there and grabbed them. They're right here. Pearl. And the pearls, sometimes their holes are a little hard to get. You have to kind of really manhandle them on here, but they will go. Okay. Another bead cap. Another pearl. Nope, I forgot the bead cap again. I do that every time. Okay, here we go. Another pearl. Another bead cap. I just cannot hang on to them. They're so little. Another another bead cap. Pearl. Let's see how it looks. Looking very pretty. So I'm just going to continue to add pearls and bead caps until I get this strung as long as I want it. Okay, so that took longer than I anticipated it would, so I'm glad I did not keep you guys on here the whole time I was trying to string those pearls. That took me forever. I kept dropping them. So, here's what we've got. I've got so 4 layers here, just like this. And I think, let me just look at them and make sure I like the way that they are. I think I do. Yeah, I really like this down here. And then this one, yeah, okay. So I don't know how many pearls I ended up using. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18 pearls is what I ended up using. Okay, so now we need to connect them all to the rings here on the side. So I have to decide how long I want these to be. Now the tassel, I want to be fairly long. You know, it's a tassel, and usually with tassels, they're pretty long. So I'm just going to take, I'm not even going to cut this chain. I'm just going to take it and make sure that it's even on both sides, just like this. And then this one, I want to hang just a little bit above the beads on the tassel. So right about here. Let me scoot it up a little so you can see. And then I want the chain on, and then I want the pearls. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to take your ring, and you kind of have to decide, like I'm going to use the very end of this Coriana here, right here, to attach it to the ring. And I'm going to leave, let me see how long I want it to be. So let me grab my ruler. Okay, so I'm going to measure this and let's see how long I want it to be. So it's about 7.5 inches. So about, it looks like about 15 inches is what I'm going to have if I cut this one even with this one. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to cut these two even, and I will have about 15 inches of chain on this bottom one, of Coriana chain on the bottom layer. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and attach this first layer to the ring because it's so much easier, I think, to attach the other layers after you've, to attach them one by one, because then you can see how they're going to lay. So I'm going to take a jump ring that is fairly large because this ring is fairly large here. And I don't know what size these are, guys. All of my jump rings are mixed in together because that's how I did it when I first started beading. Which now, if I had to go back and change that, I definitely would, but I can't at this point. I can just start now, separating things out. So, and I'm trying to dump them out and find one that matches this one. So, in the beginning, I was not real smart about it, but I put everything in together. So you're going to need your clamshell covers and your crimps. Here they are. And I'm going to take the chain. I'm going to put a clamshell cover on, just like this. I'm going to put a crimp bead on. And I'm just going to crimp this up toward the top of the chain, just like that. Now my crimp beads are just like my jump rings. They're all mixed in together, so I do not know what size this is. I don't really worry about that with them, as long as it'll fit on the chain, and crimp properly. I really don't worry about what size it is. If it's too big, obviously you're going to have a problem, but usually, I don't know what size crimps these are. Like I said, I put it on, and if it fits the chain well, then I go with it. So, it's always worked. Never had a problem. So, let me go ahead and put this one on. Same thing. I'm just crimping it down at the very top of my chain there. Crimp it really, I crimp it strong, crimp it hard, and then I pull this to make sure it's not going to come loose. And just close up the clamshell. Alright, so here's what I have. Now I'm going to take my jump rings. And for all the new beaders out there, when you open a jump ring, you hold it on either side of the ring and twist open and closed. You don't pull it long, wide like that, because it'll distort your ring. And I'm going to put it on this clamshell, and I'm going to insert it right here on the ring. And I'm going going to close it up really well. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Grab my jump ring, twist open like that. Put it on my clamshell and right on my big ring. And twist back closed. Okay, so here's what we have for the first little layer. And that is pretty long, and that's about how I want it. So now I'm going to put my second layer on. So I'm going to take these beads right here, the second layer, and what I want to do is go ahead and do one side. So I'm going to put my clamshell on. I'm going to put my crimp bead in here, and I'm going to crimp it down really well. Check to be secure, make sure that it's secure, and then close up your clamshell. And I'm going to go ahead and put this one on the ring as well. I'm just trying to make sure I'm using the same jump ring that I already have on there. Normally I don't use jump rings this big. I like smaller ones, but this shell or this ring is a little bit thick, and I wanted to make sure that my jump ring would fit over there. Okay, so there's the second one. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the other end here, and I'm going to hold this up in front of me. And I know you can't see this on camera, but you kind of have to just, I can't really do that on camera. So I want to hold it up in front of me and put the chain exactly where I want it to hang when it's on. So I'm going to hold the rings together side by side, and I'm going to get the length that I want of this second layer. This is the easiest way that I have found to do this. Okay, so I think I have it right about where I want it. And so I'm just going to take the chain right here and I'm going to trim it. Okay. And then I'm just going to do the same thing that I did on the other side. I'm going to put the clamshell on. I'm going to put the crimp bead on. Just like that. I am going to crimp it down. Make sure it's crimped really well. Check it for security and close my clamshell up, and then I'm going to attach it with a jump ring. I think this jump ring's too big. It is. I need a smaller one. Is that the right size? I don't know. I'm having trouble with my jump rings today. Pull a bunch out here. So I have a little more to choose from. There it is. There's the same one. Okay. Alright. So we'll put this one on. Close it up. And then hold it up and make sure that it hangs the way that you want it to hang. And if it doesn't for some reason, you might have to take it off and, you know, mess with it a little bit. Change the length, but I've got it where I want it to be. Okay, so now I'm going to take my chain layer. And another thing you want to make sure of is that you're doing these, make sure that your lowest level chain is on the outside, then your next one, and then this chain will go on the inside right here. So I'm going to get another jump ring, and I'm going to attach this side first, just like I did with the last one. And if you have other chain that you like to use, like I have these, I think these are pretty too. I don't know, I may do double chain right here. That might be kind of cool. Let's see what it looks like. And I'm just going to attach it on this ring. I actually had 2 different chains that I was debating using. The one from the box, and then I had this other one that I thought was kind of pretty. So, and then I'm just going to hold it up and get the length for my chain just like I did with the other layers. Yeah, I think I might use both of these. They're really pretty. They both look really good on there, and I love boho necklaces with a lot of chain and just different layers of stuff. I think it's really cute. But now I got everything tangled up here. Hold on just a second. Let me get myself back together. Okay. And I'm just holding it up. I'm picking it up and just making sure when I put my rings, the main rings that I'm using side by side, that my chain or the layer that I'm doing hangs where I want it to hang. That's all I'm doing right now. Okay, so we're going to go right about here. I'm going to cut this. And the bottom one I'm leaving just a tad bit longer. Not a lot, just a little. So I'll cut that. Okay, so now I need to get a jump ring. And make sure when you put them on the jump ring that you put your bottom one on the bottom. And then the next one, just like you have it, it has to match your other side. Otherwise it'll twist and you'll just have troubles with it. Okay. And just make sure like you have everything laid out exactly, you know, the bottom one on the bottom, the next one. It's just really important to do that. Okay. Now I'm going to insert them onto the ring and close it up. Okay, so now when I hold my ring up, my rings up, my necklace up, this is what I've got. And I like it that my chains are hanging kind of down below here. I like it that they're, I don't know how to say it, it's just kind of all like a little mishmash down there. I like that. I'll show you. I'll put it on a form at the end so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, now we're going to do the last layer. So we want to put our lobster on, or our clamshell. Okay, and then our crimp bead. Same thing as before, we're just going to crimp it down here. Make sure it's secure and close up your clamshell. Just like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and hook it on. My chair squeaks. I need some WD-40. My friend Diane, she was like, I thought it was a baby crying in your video. The chair squeaking. I'm like, no, there are no babies here. No babies in this house. I get my baby fix at the nursery every Wednesday at church. I do the nursery, and sometimes on Sundays. I did it today. But that gives me my baby fix. I don't have any babies here. It's just my chair squeaking. Okay, so there's the pearls. Now I want to hold this up and just get them where I want them to go. They're obviously going to be shorter than, you know, all the other layers on here. So I'm just holding it up, judging where I want the pearls to lay. And I'm sorry, I can't do this on camera. It's just not possible. Okay, and I think I have them right about where I want them. So I'm going to cut this. And then I'm just going to add my clamshell and my crimp bead just like I did on the other side. Clamshell, crimp. Crimp it down really tightly. And then make sure your clamshell's secure and add it. That crimp doesn't look. make sure it's closed. There we go. Okay, then we put our clam on. Now, I gotta make sure that my layers are all laying right, and make sure I get this one on top where it belongs. I really need to sort all these jump rings out, but that to me seems like an extraordinary feat to sit and sort them all into sizes, so I probably will never do that. Okay, so then we're going to put this ring on, and we're just going to attach it right here and close it up. Make sure you get your rings closed really good. Okay, so here we have, oops, what did I do? Oh, there we go. Okay, so here we have all of our layers attached. So if you hold it up, hold your rings together, you know, it should lay just like you want it to, like with each layer where you want it to be. If it doesn't, then you need to adjust some things, okay? And you can do that. You can, this is the good time if you need to adjust some things to go ahead and do it. And I feel like that these are crossed for some reason. Oh, okay, there we go. All right, just making sure. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to attach some chain up the side to finish this off. And this ring that I have here actually has a hole up through it. So if you can see there, there is a hole there. And I think I'm going to put a head pin up through here. And, oh no, wait, it doesn't come out the top. I thought it did. Never mind. Okay. Idea gone by the wayside. I thought the hole was all the way through. It's not. Okay, so what we're going to do is attach our chain to finish off our necklace. So you just use whatever chain you want. I'm just going to use the same chain from the bargain bead box. And if you want to hold this up on you and just see, you know, where it all falls and where you want your chain to go, how long you want this to be, that's pretty important. So it's already pretty long on my end down here. So I'm not going to add real long pieces of chain. Probably about 5 inches here is all I'm going to do. Because though I want it to be kind of long, I don't want it to be, you know, crazy. So I'm just going to do about 5-inch piece of chain. And the best way to measure chain, let me just show you. I wasn't going to do it because I could measure this one pretty easily, but the best way to do it is this. Take a head pin and put your chain on like that, and then when you hold it up, oops, sorry, hit the camera. When you hold it up or when you lay it out, you can see exactly where you need to cut. So I need to cut right here on this link. And that's a pretty precise and easy way to measure your chain. Okay, just like that. Now I'm just going to take 2 jump rings and I'm going to hook it to this. Now this is a pretty wide, so I will have to use big jump rings for this. And find 2 big ones. I think those 2 will work. And I'm just going to hook the chain directly onto our ring. Yeah, those will work. Just make sure they're closed up good. These big ones can be thin and you know, they can be a little tricky to get closed up. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Right here. Just like this. Okay, now we're going to put our lobster on. So I usually just pick a bigger jump ring for my lobster to clasp onto. If you have a decorative ring or something, you can use that. I just usually go with a regular jump ring. And let me find my lobster clasp. What do I do with him? I had everything in my handy dandy little containers here. Oh, here he is. Okay. So we're just going to put the clasping ring on. You can do either side. I don't know if there's any right or wrong way. I mean, I've heard different things, but I think you can do it on either side that you want to. So that's the way I do it. Whatever side I enjoy my clasp being on, it doesn't really matter. And if you want to put an extender, you can. I'm not going to do an extender on this one because it's already pretty long. And then just put your lobster on. Whoops. And you've got a beautiful necklace. Now, I will put it on a form here at the end of the video and show you, but we're going to do the earrings really quick as well. So, here is our necklace. So I'm just going to lay it out of the way for just a moment. Like I said, I'll show you here in just a minute what it looks like. And now we're going to do the earrings. So these are fairly simple. Again, this is the same filigree. I just glued the little pearl in the middle, and I did take my beading awl and punch holes in two of these. There they are. I had to find them. The holes in the two, you know, little things to hang my head pin or my ear wires on. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of the chain, and I may use this chain for this just because it's really pretty. And the chain is going to hook on my ear wire back here and hang down with this little tassel on it. So you can put the chain wherever you want, however long you want it to be. So I think that I'm just going to cut off right here on this second little link. And then I'm going to make sure that I have the same exact amount for the other side. Let me trim these little links, these extra little links off. These links on this chain don't open. This is not the chain that came in the bargain bead box, and they don't open, so I have to trim off the little tiny ones that link them together. Okay. Now I think that one might be the same. Yep, it sure is. Okay. So all I'm going to do, and I didn't tell you that you needed the ear wires from the bargain bead box, but here they are. You do. You need two of those. Sorry. I'm going to open one up. I'm going to put the chain on it like this, and I'm just going to hang it from the little hole that I made in the filigree piece. And if your little hole gives you trouble, if it's not wide enough, just take your beading awl and make it a little wider. Be careful doing this. You don't want to poke your finger because it hurts. Believe me, I've done it. Okay. Hopefully that'll do it. There we go. It sure did. Okay, now I'm going to close that up. Just like that. And then I'm just going to take my little tassel piece. Now you could, if you wanted, do an eye pin here and put some beads on to make it match, like maybe one of the pearls. Maybe I'll do that. Let me look here. Let me cut some more. Let me cut another link off of here. I think I might do that. Okay. That might be cute. So let me take an eye pin. Actually, yeah, an eye pin. Okay, I'm going to open it up. I'm going to hang my little tassel on the bottom, just like this. Yeah, this will be cute. Why not do this? Okay, and then I'm just going to take, let's see, I will use the bead caps and the pearls. So I'll take a bead cap and put it on here. A pearl. This will just help tie them together a little bit better, I think, with the necklace. And another bead cap. Then I'm going to make a loop, so I'll bend this at a 90-degree angle. I will cut it about the width of my finger, a little bit less. And my round nose pliers. I'm going to take the round nose pliers and make a small loop. Okay. Okay, open this loop up. And I'm going to insert it right on the chain and close it up. And then here's what I've got. A really cute little dangly tassel earring that has a lot of movement to it. I like that. Now this little thing may give me trouble. I may have to go in there and make that hole just a little bit bigger with my beading awl if it keeps hanging up on there. I don't want it to hang up, but okay, so I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Open this up, put on a bead cap, one of my pearls. Oh, the bead cap didn't get on there apparently. Okay, try that again. Bead cap, pearl, bead cap. I'm going to hang my little tassel on here, close it up, and then make a loop. So just 90-degree angle, fingers width cut, or a little less, and roll a small loop back. Okay, open it up, hang it right on this chain. I've done this one backwards than the one that I did a minute ago. I did the top first, but it doesn't really matter. And then, let's see, my beading awl, make sure this little hole's big enough. Just be real careful when you do. I mean, I have really poked myself bad, and it hurts when you do it. Okay. And then I'm going to take my ear wire and open it. Well, I thought it was. Ear wire and open it. Hang my chain on. Hang my little flower on. This is a little tricky sometimes to get him on there. And close this back up. And, oh, I forgot to trim my chain on this one. I sure did. Okay, that's not good. So, let's do that. Whoops. I was like, hey, he's long. He's really, really long. That won't work. Let me open this and put him right on there. Yeah. A little bit too long. Okay. If you like him really long, you can do him however you want, but I don't want him that long. Alright, so here, and this one again, I may have to go in with the beading awl and make it a little bit bigger, but those turn out really cute. Alright, so let me put these on a form and then I'll show them to you. Okay, so here we are in the light box, and here is the necklace. So we've got our little tassel piece, and I've got some fuzz on him from my beading mat, but ignore that. So our little tassel piece, and you know, we dressed it up a little, and then we've got our fire polish, our melon beads and spacers, some chain, and our pearls. And then you come up and you have your rings up here at the top. And then we have our earrings right here. And they're laying a little funny just because of this thing I've got them. It's got little pokey out places, but there they are, and I think this set turned out adorable. Like I said, I really like tassels and the boho look, so I don't have a problem with it at all. And I think the burgundy and the gold looks great together, and I think the pearls look beautiful with it as well. So, yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, like and subscribe. And if you're interested in Bargain Bead Box, I will have the information in the description box below. And you can sign up and get the $2 off coupon. And yeah, so it's a great deal. So you guys have a great rest of the day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.